Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hi Shreya. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Can you open your camera?
Yeah.
Yes. Hi Shreya. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm also fine. Thanks for asking. So let's start with your introduction.
Yes, my name is Shreya Karnatskar. I'm from Satara. I've completed my BCA. I have 2 years experience as a UI developer.
Okay. Tell me something about your project and your roles and responsibility in that project.
Right now, I'm working on a project. It is an e-commerce project. It's the main product is electrical equipments, and we have different modules in it, like users, sellers, and the products. So whenever user puts in a request for the product, we are sending the data to the seller, and the quotation is returned to the user. I'm working on the users module.
Okay. So basically, what is your day-to-day routine? So
My day-to-day routine is uh, I like to explore the new technologies. I spend some time in that and I'm working.
okay. So, how you rate yourself in HTML?
Uh, Three,
Out of five, right? Okay.
yeah,
Um, in CSS,
three overall.
okay. So, tell me the features of HTML5.
HTML5 has introduced us with the semantic elements. The meaning of semantic is whenever an element is rendered on the browser, it becomes easy for the search engine to find the data on the website. For example, we have the elements such as aside, header, footer, and HTML5 has also provided us with the web APIs like fetch API, geolocation API. So yeah, and HTML5 has also provided with web storages that makes easy to store the data on the browser, client side and server side.
Okay. Why we required a semantic tag?
Semantic tags makes it easy to read the web pages. For example, the header, footer, or aside. So for search engine, it becomes easy and quicker to get the data.
Okay. Only for search engine.
For search engine and overall readability of the code also becomes easier.
Okay. What is the difference between web storage and cookies?
Cookies are a small piece of data, and cookies can be sent to the cookies data is sent to the server. From the server, it reads the data on the browser, and but for cookies, it becomes uh, when the data is sent to server, there is also problem of the data may get the data may get used by other third parties. So when we use web storages, for example, if I'm using a local storage, then the data is saved on the browser itself. So the data, the third party data which can access third parties which can access the data, it is more reliable. It is more convenient to use also cookie local storage data.
Okay. How to secure our data?
To secure data, a script tag can be used. So whenever a script tag is rendered on the browser, script tag is removed and the inside data remains safe. Or instead of using cookies, I can use the data is stored on local storage or in session storage. So whenever the user access the data and once the session is closed, then uh, the data is also removed from the site. So
Yeah, but when a session is closed, that time data removed in only session storage. But if you store in data in local storage, then
local storage data can also be, we can put an expiry date to it.
okay, okay, no problem. What are the type of CSS?
Types of CSS.
Yeah, how many types of CSS we can give CSS?
I can you elaborate the question? I'm not understanding.
Uh, um, how many types that we can give CSS to any particular HTML type?
Okay, okay. I can give, I can apply CSS as an inline element, or I can attach a external link CSS file to it, or I can also use it in the body tag or head tag using the script element, sorry, style element.
Okay, what is a web workers?
I pass this question. I have to.
Okay, no issues. Uh, okay, what is the primitive data types?
Primitive data types are for example, the data types are string, null, undefined, and string, null, undefined, boolean,
Mm-hmm.
symbol. Yeah,
Okay, what are the non-primitive data types?
non-primitive data types are the objects, arrays, date object.
Um, what is the difference between late, var, and const keyword?
Okay. Let and const keywords this were used from yes, const and let keywords were used from ES6 version of JavaScript. Let and const variables can be hoisted, but yeah, let and const have block scope, and they can also be hoisted. So if I have declared let and const variables and I am using it before initialization, then it will throw an reference error. But where the keywords, the variables declared with the where keyword are global variables. So we can access it within the scope of the functions. But that is not the case with let and const, because let and const has its own functional scope.
Okay, so I will send some code snippet in chat box. Okay, give me the answer of this.
Can I share screen and I can copy?
Yeah, no problem. Write down type of that answer as well.
Okay.
Okay, explain this.
Whenever we try to add a number to a string, it gets converted to string. So here it will be 11. 1 plus a will get the ASCII value, I guess. So it may get the ASCII value. I'm not sure. So I've written a 1 and undefined. 1 minus 1 will be 0 because it mathematical operator will take place. So 0 and a, and it may be not a number because 0 and a. And here it will 1 plus as we have a string value over here. So and plus operator will concat it. So and next also is a plus operator. So it may concat and it will be 1 to 1 and it will be a string type. And here also I think that ASCII value will be taken. So this number format will not be present. So it must be undefined and not a number.
Okay, if I change in line number 3, there a should be in string, then
Then it will be 0 and a because a plus operator will uh, concat and it will convert it to a string and then the type will be string.
okay. And right now, what is
Right now it must be not a number because I think the ASCII value will get considered. So this number format may not be identified, I guess.
okay? I will send another one code snippet. Okay, copy this. So, which condition will enter in this scenario?
I think it will work because uh, I think it will work
Why?
because with the new keyword, the instance of the class will be created and this value will get stored in 0.
So, what is 0 here?
Is this 0?
What is 0? If I console 0, then what will be the answer?
0 will be a constructor object of number class.
Sure? Are you sure?
0 will be a constructor object because with new a constructor will be created of number class. So 0 will be an object. But if this 0 is passed or not, I'm not sure about if this 0 will be saved and stored in this.
Okay, okay, no problem. What is the difference between a promises and observables?
Promises, observable is a continuous stream of data, and promises are used for asynchronous functions. So promise, when I have to return a value in the future, promises can be used, but promises will return one value at a time. And the difference in observable is that it will continuously, we can get the values from observable, and we need to subscribe the observables, but in promise we don't need to subscribe. We can, by when the promise is consumed, then the value is, we can get the value.
Okay. Uh, what happen when we unsubscribe?
When an observable is unsubscribed, the flow of the data from observable will be stopped. Either this way can be used, or the complete method can be used to stop the observable.
Okay. Then what is the difference between ng on destroy and unsubscription of observable?
Unsubscription of observable is in ng destroy. I have to call the unsubscribe method.
Okay. What is destructuring?
Array destructuring means we can get a few elements of this. So suppose the array, there are 10 array elements, and I need only 4. Then I can declare different variables and can get only that much data from the array. That is destructuring.
Okay. So write down one function using plain JavaScript, and y- here you have an input as a number of array,
Okay.
and you need to sort that array without using a built-in function.
Any built-in function.
No, yes, you can use a for loop or for each loop, but no, no, you can't use a sort. show me output in browser. Comment out about on
Yes.
explain your logic.
Okay, so yeah, so every I will push the data from the numbers into array 1, and as this array 1 does not has have anything, so one by one the next elements will be should get checked here. That is I'm
But
trying.
how you are using two for loop of a same for loop, right? And your condition is array of I is greater than array one of j. So suppose there is a I and j is equal to 0.
Yeah,
Then how your condition will satisfy?
no, but that 0 will be index of the
Okay.
numbers, so numbers should get uh, calculated.
Yeah, that I know, but
Yeah.
on which condition your if condition will satisfy? When your condition will satisfy?
If the number will be found in this and the two should get that should get checked.
And you are returning array 1. Okay,
Yeah.
you are consoling array of array 1. There is a on line number 16 you are using const array.
Okay, yeah. I have to pass it as a function here.
Okay, no problem. Suppose there is one, I have one object, employee object. Okay, in that I have a username, employee designation, and one of the nested objects. Okay, I
Okay.
want to create a copy of that object. So how can I create?
I can create another variable, and object.assign method can be used to copy the
Okay,
browser.
write down one object here.
ID.
Yeah, you can take any of two, three variables. Yeah, create one nested object here. Okay, copy this object. Okay, change the employee ID of a second object.
Yes.
Change employee ID and phone number both. Console both the object. What happened here?
Okay. References are getting copied. Yeah, one
Okay,
minute.
change the employee ID of a second object. No, no, second object.
Of EMP1. Okay.
Okay, check the output. What happened here? When you change the phone number,
Hmm.
that time phone number got changed in both the objects.
Both
But
objects.
when you change the employee ID, that time it changed in only one object. Why this happen?
Because of the spread operator, but the child elements are not accessible. That means the direct properties are accessible.
Okay. Then what is the best method to create a copy object?
If a copy can be created by directly assigning, but then it will make the changes in both the objects. And if a spread operator is used, then it can directly access these uh, the properties that are in the object, but the nested objects could not be changed.
Okay. Suppose I want to protect the key name of a first object. So key name cannot be modified. So how can I achieve?
I have to pass this question.
Okay, no problem. Okay. What is the difference between Angular JS and Angular 2 plus version?
Angular JS. Um, Angular JS was more microcontrollers based, and Angular 2 plus is microservices based. Um,
Any other difference?
Angular JS was based on JavaScript, and Angular 2 plus is based on TypeScript, which is a superset of JavaScript.
Okay, your current project is on which version?
Angular 14.
Okay. What are the features of Angular 14? You are working on Angular 14, right?
Yes.
Okay. What is the directives?
Directives are used to directives add uh, directives are used to change the structure of the behavior of the elements. There are three types of directives: component, structural, and attribute directives.
Okay. What is the difference between structural directive and attribute directive?
Attribute directives are used to change the look and feel of the elements, and structural directives are specially used to add or remove the elements.
What is the use of ng switch?
ng switch can be used to when there are few cases that we have to match with the conditions, then ng switch can be used.
We can use directly ng if no. So why we require ng switch?
Yes, ngf can be used, but in ngf the elements are added or removed directly in the browser, and in ng switch only whichever case will match that element will be shown, but it will be rendered on the browser.
Okay. How can we write a custom directives?
Custom directives, a directive file can be created and using the native element property and the element reference class, we can write the directives and add it to the elements.
Okay. What is a pipe?
A pipe is used to take the input the data, and we can transform the data or modify the data by using pipes.
What is async pipe?
Async pipe is specially used when we are using observables. The feature of async pipe is that we don't need to subscribe or unsubscribe the observable. If the component is not loaded, that means when the component is removed from the web page, then that async pipe will automatically unsubscribe itself. So the memory leakage problem can be removed by using async pipe.
Okay. Can we write any custom pipe?
Yeah, we can create custom pipes. Using the pipe transform property, we can create custom pipes.
Okay. Write down a syntax of custom pipe. You are writing from bottom to top, huh? What is this?
Yeah,
Are you missing something? Still, you are missing something. Okay, no problem. How we can use pipe in HTML?
we have to add the pipe name to element. So the name of the pipe summary can be used in any HTML element where I have to use this pipe.
Okay. Suppose I want to use a date pipe,
Okay.
okay, which is a default pipe,
Yeah.
and I want to change the type of date. So it's coming as a string, and I want to show it as DDMMYY format. So how can I show?
I think the short property or medium property will, if new date is used and the if we pass the date in this and use short or medium property,
Hmm.
then it can display in that format.
No, to you directly use you can use date pipe, no?
Yeah, date pipe can be used, but by default it will show as a string.
Hmm.
Uh, so to the variable, if I declare new date and pass the date here and use in the pipe, if I use date colon short or medium, then that format will be shown.
Write down syntax for that. Okay, what short will do?
Short will only show the date, year and month, and medium will show also the time will also be shown.
But I want DDMMYY format.
Then I guess only short.
No, it doesn't require short here. You can directly give that format, no? Why you require short? Okay, what is services?
Services are used to share the data between different components.
Hmm.
So, for example, if I write functions that can be accessed by other components, and then by injecting the service in different components, we can use those functions or the data.
Okay, how you write services?
Services, I have to
No,
create a class.
no need to write, only explain.
Okay, I need to write a class for service. I'll create a service, which is a .service.ts file. And suppose I write a function, suppose ID generator into that. And suppose in user component, I need to access the ID. Then I will inject the service in the user component constructor class. And by injecting the by accessing then the variable name, uh, we can access the function in the services.
Okay, what is injectable decorator?
@ injectable decorator is used, and its selector property will uh,
What is dependency
mm,
injection?
dependency injection means whichever service I want to use in any component, I have to declare it in the constructor class and use the functions in the service.
Okay, when you write a service, what you prefer? Promises, observables, subject behavior.
It depends. If it is an asynchronous function,
Hmm.
then promise or observables if I have to subscribe the data from observable. And if there is a function which generates ID for a new user, then by writing the functions, we can access it.
Okay, suppose you are writing a service for post call. Then what you prefer?
Writing a service for
Post call.
post call.
Yeah. For crude operation, right?
Okay, okay. For post call, then I will use the HTTP client module. I will inject the HTTP client, and as it will return an observable, so whichever component is using the data.
Okay. Suppose there is a one scenario. There is one input search field I have, and on that search field, um, when user enter any input, then each time uh, each and every input field, input user entered, that time API call happened. So I want to minimize that API calls. So how can I minimize?
Okay, so to minimize calls, uh, switch map operator is used. No. Um,
There's several methods.
yeah. To reduce the API calls, okay. If the data is shared, uh, then if every time the same API call is done and the data is the same, then share replay method can also be used in the, yeah,
Which method? Sorry.
share replay
Share replay. Okay.
or debounce time operator or switch map operator.
Okay. What is debouncing?
A debounce time will delay the um, API calls. For example, if three API calls are there, and then after some time it will cancel one API call, and then two will be done. So it delays the uh, execution of the API call, and so instead of many API calls, it will be reduced to few.
Okay. What is the switch map?
Switch map is also used to reduce the number of API calls. I'm not sure about switch map.
Okay. You asked me. You are already told, no? Yeah,
Yeah, I
switch.
told I'm not sure about switch map, but a share replay can be used if the same API calls are done again if the same data is used. And debounce time can also be used to reduce the API calls. I'm not sure about switch map.
Okay. Suppose I want to send some data with each and every API call to the backend. So how can I achieve that? Same information I want to send
Okay.
to the backend for all the CRUD operation. Okay, no problem. Uh, how to enhance the performance of a Angular application? Can I hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Can you hear me? Yeah.
yes.
How to enhance the performance of a Angular application?
Reusable components can be used. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, and then as I said, data between the services can be shared if similar data is shared.
Mhm.
Then
What is the lazy loading?
yeah, yeah, lazy loading. Whichever component is required, only that much will be loaded by the browser. That is lazy loading. Yes, that can be done.
Okay. Do you know server side rendering?
Server side rendering, yes, but Angular is a client side rendering. Before that, the server side rendering means all the data was first, any web page was first downloaded on the server, and then whatever was required was sent by the server. But now, for example, if we are using Angular, it also has client side rendering. That means whichever web page is required, that will be first downloaded on the client browser itself.
Okay. In your project, which rendering is used?
My project is on Angular, so it is client side.
But you are using Angular 14, right?
Yeah.
So in Angular 14, there is one enhancement of server-side rendering.
Okay.
So why you are using Angular 14 if you are not using a server-side rendering?
The performance of the web pages will be quick when I'm using the client side rendering, as the data is downloaded on the client browser itself.
Okay, which is better, client-side rendering or server-side rendering?
Client side is better because suppose if the data first goes to the server, then the problem of the data may get hacked. Like for safety purposes, also a client side is better. And from the server, every data will be sent to the client. So for safety purposes, client side will be better.
Okay, are you sure, sir? Okay, no problem, sir. Thanks for giving your time,
Yeah,
and I
welcome.
think we are running out of the time. Okay, so
Thank you.
thanks. Yeah, bye bye.
Yeah, bye.